Overkill.
Alright, you guys, we've got this Xbox Series S in. It was dropped off just like this. The port was already ripped off. It has every single trace, as you can see here, ripped off of the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 pins. Just like every other HDMI port. Every single one is going to need to be reattached to its endpoint on the motherboard and from the HDMI port, either or. So we're going to get started on this now. I'm going to either cut this back a little more and run a wire from here and then one from here. Same thing. Cut back, run a wire here, run it here. I'm just going to try to make it real easy. Look, some of these traces are just falling apart. So that's going to go all the way down. You can tell that this one just connects here to this spot, and this one at the very end connects to this via here, this little hole. And this one looks like it got ripped way down over here. So I'm going to scratch that away and run a wire to there. That one's going to be tricky because of how close this one is. But yeah, we're going to have to get this done. So let's see what we can do. This is a lot of extra work. Alright, first I guess I should just get the port on there. All these little balls of solder that you see are going to present an issue. If those disperse themselves throughout the board and contacted 2 points, that's a short for sure, 100%. So we don't want that. I'm going to go ahead and start, and we're going to flip the board over, and we're going to flood these points with leaded solder, and we're going to attach our new port. I'm going to turn on my soldering iron and my fume extractor. Pardon the noise. Now I'm going to turn on my hot air station, and I'm going to balance the HDMI port on some tweezers, like so. And I'm going to drop the port into position. I am heating the board from the underside with my hot air station, set at the maximum temperature, which for me is 493 degrees Celsius. My airspeed is at 100. I don't have to worry about components flying off of this board because Microsoft did a really good job designing this board. There aren't a lot of components in the way. You can tell that their design philosophy is a little more consumer friendly, or at least technician friendly, than Nintendo and Sony in particular. One, because the way that the console is organized, you open up the system and all the parts are not only numbered, like the power supply, fan, disk drive, etc., and motherboard, but they're really easy to take apart. The connectors are nice and fat, real friendly to big American hands, you know. But a lot easier to take apart and put back together than these Japanese video game consoles. Plus, their customer service also is kind of under the same brand, because if you call them up, sometimes they'll just hook you up with a brand new system. It doesn't matter if it's out of warranty. It could be like 2 years out of warranty. Sometimes they'll just say, we'll extend your warranty and hook you up. And you can read about this too. Don't just take my word for it. And God forbid, if you ever have an issue with one of your consoles and you reach out to them, you might get the same treatment. It's pretty good. So now that this port's on and I've allowed it to cool a little bit, I'm going to turn it back around, focus this camera, and we'll see what we can do. This is some of the rest of the board. Very clean design. So now for the fun stuff. Gotta run some wires to each and every one of these. I like to work from left to right on this because I'm right-handed, so it makes it easier. I'm going to try to do it the easiest, fastest way possible, just because there are 19 to do. I don't think I've ever had to do all 19 pins before. I've had to, actually I take that back. When the PS5 was first released and you couldn't purchase HDMI ports, you had to retrofit, and I had to do this a few times. Retrofit PS4 Pro HDMI ports onto the PS5 motherboard, and the way to do that, I have a video up. It's one of my earliest repair videos. I've been doing this for far longer, but that was like, I haven't really even gotten this repair thing down. You can tell by my production and the fact that I'm going off rip with no script. But yeah, and nonetheless, you had to solder each and every individual pin from the port to the motherboard for the PS5. So I've done all pins before. That's true. That is true. So I'm going to start by tinning these pins on the HDMI port. Every single one's going to be tinned. Tinning is a term we use for adding solder to something so that it's easier to attach wiring to later. It's a trade term. I'm just going to do the same thing I did with the first few pins all the way down. I'm just going to get it all over with. You might not see it all on camera just because it's kind of mundane. What you're seeing there is what you want to see all the way down. Clean it up with some alcohol. Okay, now I'm going to add more flux. Flux is key. Uh-oh. That's called a bridge. Those are not fun. Boom. First one down. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the thing about me is I don't do the cleanest work when it doesn't show. I'll be honest. But the difference between me and the average person is that I may not do the nicest work, but I do work. And it will work. Alright, y'all, just like that, we have all the wires that we need ran. Everyone looks like they're still connected. This obviously is going to get cleaned up. I'm going to take some... Sorry, I'm losing my words here. I'm going to get some alcohol on here, scrub it a little bit, clean it with some Q-tips, put all this stuff away, all my tools and everything. And then I'm going to reassemble, add new thermal paste. Of course, always want to add new thermal paste. If you're working with a PS5, you're then dealing with liquid metal, which sucks, but hey, you know, that just makes you a better technician if you can work around stuff like that. And yeah, I'm gonna test it, and hopefully this guy can pick up tonight. If not, tomorrow. This is a lot of extra work. I don't know if I'm gonna charge him extra, how much I should charge him. But yeah, this was crazy. This took a lot of time. So yeah, this is pretty much the end of the video. I'm gonna clean this. I'm gonna recheck all these pins, make sure they're all touching. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll throw in a picture of it working after I do all this and reassemble it.
Game over.